Hello and welcome to TEDxAinleyTopWomen, the journey to the TEDx talk on the 13th of December 2019, where I'm interviewing all the lovely speakers that took part to make the day amazing for not only themselves, for myself, but also for the audience, because of course TED is all about ideas worth sharing. So today I am joined by an amazing lady. I've known her for quite a few years now. And if I say that she's renowned for being in touch with the universe, I'll tell you who she is, because I'm going to let her I'm going to invite her to introduce herself. Tell us who you are and what do you do?
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. I'm just so delighted to be here with you today. My name is Ruth Driscoll, as you've already said, and I'm the Life Liberator. And my mission is to lead those who are in manipulative, abusive, controlling relationships into empowerment and freedom.
Brilliant. And in terms of your journey to TED, well, first of all, we're probably best to explain the universe comment. So it's not that you've got a direct hotline to God necessarily, but in one of your talks, you talk about the universe, don't you?
Yes, I do. And in fact, I use that because it kind of really felt that way. It just felt like at that particular time, a higher power was talking to me, because this was at the time that I myself was coming out of my abusive relationship, and there's a lot of emotional turmoil that you're going through at that time. It's only when I look back I realize I actually had an emotional breakdown, and I also was suffering from a very a stress-free, a stress-related physical condition as well, which I have to manage for the rest of my life. Yeah. And it was really when I was going through all those decisions and realizing things that I had done that had put me in that situation and what I needed to do in terms of moving forward. And it literally felt like that it was like some people describe it as a light bulb moment. But the way I described it was like the universe going, Ruth, it's the universe here, and I need to have another word with you. So it was, sometimes you just need to listen to that voice that's going on inside your head, because it's there for a very good reason. Yeah. And I always say, yeah, the universe, she knows what she's doing if you trust her and you listen.
I love it. Now, normally I would be saying, how did you hear about the TEDx opportunity? What brought you towards it? And I'm going to be honest, I invited you because I'm a big fan of yours, as you know, ever since, we started our, relationship at the Professional Speakers Academy with the Andy Harrington. And you've always really been like just a consummate storyteller, presenter, and at the same time, really quite frustrating. Because I think it would be fair to say that you are a little bit of a perfectionist. Would that be a fair comment?
Well, yes, it's perfectionism. That's true. And I think because also for me starting this journey, it was completely new territory, because I'd been involved in education. I'd been head teacher of a challenging inner city primary school, and certainly as an educator, you sort of have that conditioning in you that you've got to get it right when you're whatever you're giving to the learners, you've got to get it right, and so. Where perhaps, somebody else would have been able to just sort of launch in and say, look, I know what to do. I spent a lot of time testing what I was doing. And yes, I mean, you're right, Cheryl, that I would say, there's been a lot of procrastinating, and perhaps some of that has been a lack of belief in myself. Sometimes it's, you don't see what other people see, and I have such a huge debt of gratitude to you for the the sort of faith and trust that you've put in me, and indeed it was the same with Andy Harrington, where sometimes people see something in you that you don't even know is there, because you just do it, so you don't assume that there's anything different about what you're doing. Yeah. So it's thanks to the faith, the trust, and the butt kicking that has helped me to get to where I am today, and I'm immensely grateful to you for that.
You're welcome. I think, you're right. We don't necessarily see the things that I think, it's one of those things where you just do it naturally. So you just think everybody else does it and you don't realize. And so I know that, when I say frustrated, it was like, well, when you're getting out there, people need your help. I'm just redoing those videos. I'm just reading, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I guess knowing you in your education, it's kind of like, not only did you want to do the lesson plan, you wanted to go through it, test it and make sure it works. And that, of course, is very honourable.
Yeah.
And I understand.
Yeah.
But when the TEDx opportunity came along, I was like, right, this is my way of being able to get the universe on my side and get Ruth to be seen by those who need to see her. So I know I invited you, and then even at that stage, we got to I'd got the cut-off date for everything and the videos, and I got a little message from her. Didn't know what was going on. What was going on at that time?
Right. Well, at that time, because I was thinking about my story in, the one that I tell from stage about why I am where I am today in terms of the Life Liberator. And I was thinking, well, how can I, sort of repurpose that so that it will suit a more general audience? What's the message behind it? So all this was kind of going through my head. And so what I was coming up with, I wasn't 100% satisfied with. It was, I would say, very much a work in progress. But that's when you came up with a brilliant brainwave, and you reminded me of a piece that I had done a while ago, which was, funny enough, because we sort of talked about it, and I thought, maybe I could do that as a TEDx one day, but I'd completely forgotten about it. But you had remembered that. And as soon as you said to me, Ruth, I really think you should do that piece on fear. I thought, oh my God, she's right. Yeah, that is absolutely what I should be doing. Yeah. So yes, it was so wonderful that you had not only remembered, but that you'd also thought, yes, that's got to be the right one for this particular stage.
Yeah, of course, because obviously TED's about ideas worth sharing, and so it's kind of like I was thinking, oh yeah, I mean, and I did say to you, your story is amazing, and I think we should put the link to your story, which I'm sure must be on YouTube somewhere as well for the the listeners, the viewers to watch as well. And then at the same time, I was thinking, but I did remember that piece. I remember that piece because it was just so artful and at the same time so real, and it really spoke about something that everybody goes through, at some stage in their life, if not most days, really. And so then I was like, I just know that this would work. And of course, it's a bit like, learning from a master and then having to go back and go, do you mind if I just say something here? But of course, you're not like that. You're open to ideas and suggestions. And so when I knew you were going to do that and you were okay with it as well, I was like, okay, we're thrilled. So we've got to the day of Friday the 13th. Everyone was like, why did you choose that day? I love Friday the 13th myself. December 2019. You've just arrived at the venue, and of course you've not been to this place before. You've had to come up north, trains, planes, automobiles and all that. Can you just share what your experience was of the day, from before you did your talk to after you'd done your talk? How did that feel for you?
Well, I suppose, I wasn't kind of sure what to expect almost, so when I sort of walked in and I saw how much effort and trouble you'd made over getting that whole setup, with the ginormous shoe and the TEDx letters and the curtains with the sparkly stars going down, and immediately you just thought, wow, that there was a real sort of a wow factor there, and I think the other thing that really struck me was just what a lovely supportive crowd there was, because of course there were several of us there who were going to be speakers and people who'd come along to support us. So it was, such a delightful crowd, a welcoming, supportive crowd. and you know, then we had the lady who'd organized this delightful lady who did makeup and hair for us, so that added like a real sort of element of glam. Oh, I've got to go and have my makeup done. So it kind of, you know, there was a star quality about the day. And in the lunch breaks, you know, just sort of talking to people, and everyone was so supportive of the speakers, saying how much they'd learned, and you know, said they got something from everyone. So, and I know we were a mixture, weren't we, of those of us who had a fair amount of experience of speaking on stage, to those who absolutely had never done anything like it before. And I think that was also a wonderful thing, that it was such an equalizer, that everyone, you know, was able to go up there and shine and give a really important message. So for me, it was a really inspiring day. But I do recognize, you know, that it worked so well because of the thought, the effort, the planning, you know, even down to at your house, you know, we were there putting goodie bags together, and, you know, you had your sister and other people there, so, you know, sort of supporting, and just, you know, making that day have that little touch of something that really was special. So it was like one of those moments in life that, you know, is never going to leave your memory. And whenever you think about it, you're going to go, oh my God, I was there.
And I thought what was really lovely, when you came off stage, one, I'm in tears, because I'm just like, yes, at last someone's going to see you in action. I mean, don't get me wrong, there've been hundreds of thousands of people that had already seen you, but it was just kind of like, you know, TED's so powerful, and ideas were spreading, actually, not sharing, but, you know, same difference. And I just kind of thought this platform is ideal, you know, is the purpose of this is just ideal for what you're talking about as well. And I remember, I think it was, is it your nieces that were there to watch you?
Yes, it was my niece and her partner. She had, they'd come over from Manchester.
Yeah, which was really, really lovely, because to see you with your family who'd never really seen you speak in that environment before.
No.
Because I'm in tears, you know, going, oh, I love it, you know, like getting really emotional. Everybody, I mean, like, you know, your response at the end of the talk, you know, was just exactly how I'd kind of visualized it in my mind, you know, and I was like, right, here she goes now, like there's no excuses.
Well, you're absolutely right, Cheryl.
Yeah. So it was a pleasure to you know, to create that space for all of you, and you know, and for you, Ruth, as you know, because I've been a fan for years. And so in terms of what happened next, of course, it was 13th of December, you know, everybody's getting back, you know, to Christmas and getting on with, you know, the week before Christmas, etc. And then, of course, we've got the videos coming through. I've got the videos coming through from Rap Media, lovely Rebecca, who did the videos for us. And you know, we've got to upload these to TED. And at that stage, I think that became very real for me. It was like, oh, well, you know, I do hope that these will be passed, you know, so there's a little bit of a nervousness. But in the lovely WhatsApp group, it starts to happen, doesn't it? You know, after, I think it was about the 6th of January, we started to get the approvals coming through. How was it for you when you could see not only everybody else's coming through, but when yours was there as approved? What was that feeling, if you can remember?
Oh, it really was quite amazing. Because, you know, just being able to go in and see it's there, and the other people going in, you can say to people, you know, just go in and have a look, see what you think, because, you know, lots of people that, you know, don't come and hear you speak, because it's kind of perhaps a separate environment, but for this, you know, there was a sort of real valid reason to say, well, you know, do go in and watch that. And it was kind of also, well, it was like waiting for you know, Christmas presents or something like that, because when people's videos started coming through, and you could, in our WhatsApp group, the excitement was building, and everyone, you know, cheering each other on, you know, it was really a lovely experience. Again, it's sort of almost like reliving it once again, just kept the momentum and the excitement going. It's great.
Really. And since the video's been loaded up, I mean, what's been the positives for you? Has there been some more reaction from people you wouldn't have normally have heard from? You know, what's been the general kind of positives from being there?
Yes, I think, the huge positives are that you can say, well, number one, you can say, I'm a TEDx speaker, which sort of automatically has a status about it. And then when, it's something that you think, well, actually, I'm actually quite proud of this.
Yeah.
That you can say to people, just go in and watch, even like your neighbors, like I'm in a book club with my neighbors, and, just say, go in and watch it. And they go, oh, I watched that. And a lady from my rock choir said, I was cheering you on, my husband and I, we were there cheering away. So people that, as I say, wouldn't normally see you, but also, for, in terms of the positioning for what I do as the life liberator, for that, really powerful. Again, that it gives you that additional status, but that also, because the message there is something that is pertinent to the people that I work with, or who, may need to work with somebody like myself, that you can go in and just, sort of nudge that message a little bit. Just setting people's awareness off, because, we can sit with a problem for a long, long time and not take action on it. And think, oh, I can cope. But sometimes just getting those little nudges that make you think, actually, I can do something about this. I should be doing something about this. I will do something about this. Just moving people along on that journey as well. And I think when you've got something up there, that anyone can access at any time, then it's a great tool for positioning you in your expert space, but also for supporting those that need that extra little nudge to take action, or just sometimes, just that little reminder of, I can do something about this. I mean, even within, the WhatsApp group, there was one lady she said, I needed to hear that message today. She was, facing quite a few challenges in her personal life at that time. And another lovely lady from your Live, Love, Laugh Lounge, who was, just sort of so enthusiastic, and she was saying, oh, it absolutely blew me away. And so it's, I think, a means of reaching people.
Yeah, definitely.
That people you might, who might not know what you do, but people get a rounder picture of you, and then you never know where those contacts are going to lead, do you? You never know what's going to be sparked by it. It's like that pebble in the pond, isn't it? And the ripples going out.
Yeah, it is. And we're going to obviously put the link to your TEDx talk here. What I think is great, and you touched on it there, is that, look, if someone's in an abusive relationship, an unhealthy relationship, and of course that could be a man or a woman, sometimes it would be very difficult, particularly if they're in a controlling one, to watch something, that says, I'm in an unhealthy relationship, for fear of reprisal, I imagine. So here, TEDx talks are so diverse. A TEDx, talk about fear doesn't seem so specific to them.
That's
so it's
true.
really great. So if people are watching this or listening to this or even reading this in the blog, if they can, if they know somebody that might need a little bit of support, of course they could then send them the link, and it could be, oh, well, my friend just sent me this link, it's just about fear, general fear, but actually the message in that presentation, of course, is very subtly in there about, if you're in a relationship, and what can you do if you want to get out of it, or the fear comes up, of course. Don't want to spoil it, so people can go and listen to it. So finally, Ruth, if somebody said to you, they were thinking of doing a talk, whether or not it be a TEDx talk or, just sharing what they know, what would you say to them if they've got a message or an idea they want to share?
Well, I think, for somebody who has a message that they want to share, I think one of the really important things is to make sure that you've got the right support in order to be able to get that message across in a way that has the strongest impact. Because you feel vulnerable when you're standing on a stage. And so you want to know that the way that you are presenting yourself is going to be the most powerful that you can do. And there I would honestly suggest, you do need to speak to an expert. And I know, one of the people I would definitely recommend for people is you, Cheryl, because I've seen the quality of what you do and the amazing transformation that you can make with people's stories and people's presentations in the shortest amount of time. Just like that, you can see them also, like their jaw almost dropping. Oh my God. So, it's not, it's not necessarily something that needs to take a long time. It just needs somebody with that expert eye to just say, but if you just did this instead of this, and then that's when the jaw drops. So yes, everyone's got an important message to share, but if you want people to listen, then you really do need to feel that you've gone about it in the best way that you can. And for me, that the best way would be to make sure you've got someone with that expert eye who can listen and advise you and give you that transformation where it's needed. So
thank you.
That would definitely be my recommendation. And I would always say, this lady's the best. This Cheryl Chapman lady, she really is unbelievable. And you've been doing it. You've done this for thousands and thousands of people, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, because I mean, this is where the journey began. You're absolutely right. When Andy saw something in me, saw something in you, gave us the opportunities. So very, eternally grateful for that opportunity. And then I guess one of the things is, to do it practice. I'm saying, you were. I got a sense that you were trying to be perfect, and guess why I could recognize that, because I have been there as well. It's about, getting out there, sharing with the world what you can do, what you can help people with. If there's a problem, you've got a solution, then it makes sense to do that. And I mean, I'm really passionate. I mean, of course, the TED story started with me thinking, I'll be a TEDx speaker myself. And then, well, quite frankly, that just went belly up, really, because obviously the organizer, I wouldn't be able to do that. And it was like,
do it. Yeah. Oh.
Note to self, make sure you read the print, you know what I mean? There were ups and downs, just in terms of getting to the day. But I do remember sitting there, like I said, when you came off stage, I was very emotional. And also sitting there with all the speakers, because I'd had a little, some of them I'd had a little bit more say in, others, had just been, suggestions, tweaks and changes, like you say. But I was the only person in the room that actually knew what the day was going to look like, because I'd had everybody, I knew every talk, and obviously I'd done the arranging of all the props and stuff. So there was no surprise for me. It was just nice to see everybody else going, oh wow, I wasn't expecting this. But I couldn't visualize was the audience, of course. I'm putting together 20 speakers for one day. That's tough on not only on the audience's bottom, but also in kind of enthusiasm potentially. And for me, one of the really lovely bits of feedback that I received on the day was a lady came up to me and she said, I've got to be honest with you, I didn't sleep much last night. Now, this wasn't a speaker. This was a member of the audience. And I said, oh, were you giddy? Were you thinking it was like Christmas? She said, no, I haven't been sleeping very well recently. I went, oh dear. Maybe we'll talk about that later. She said, but I just wanted to let you know, I was really afraid of falling asleep. 20 speakers, a bit heavy. She said, but I've enjoyed every single presentation. I've really enjoyed the day. And I just thought that's just a credit to all the speakers, because I was sitting there kind of feeling, I imagine, I'm not a parent, but I imagine, what a proud mama would feel like, watching her children do a Christmas play or something. Idea, wasn't it? And I just thought, actually, I think, there's a sense of this is why I'm here, to help others. There is, there's a disease going around there at the minute in the speaker platform arena, specifically, not just, but specifically around female speakers. This sense of, I don't know what it is that's stopping them. I can only assume it's the same things that stopped me before. Am I enough? Do I know enough? Will people listen? Are people going to judge? Yes. And I've already said in a couple of the videos, I've really learned quite recently that the judgment, the judge, the jury, and the possible execution that we fear, if you just change that to it's just someone's opinion, it really kind of melts that. you know, that fear,
Yes.
like, around, you know, being judged. And so I'm on a bit of a mission to get people to get out there and share what they've got, you know, to help other people. And again, that just comes back to the kind of ethos of TED, you know, ideas worth sharing, ideas worth spreading, you know.
Yeah.
So it was really,
Well, I think, you know, the idea that we, you know, we have more of that feminine energy around, I think we will definitely help our world, whether that comes from men or women, you know, but just that more of that feminine energy, that we're not looking to be judged, but we're looking to collaborate and to contribute. And yeah, the more we can get that message across, the more likely it is, I think, that more women will step forward.
yeah, exactly. So I want to say thank you, Ruth. Thank you for stepping into the circle, the red dot.
Thank
Thank you
you
for
so
making it
much.
an incredible day. And we will put the link in here, both to your story and to your TEDx video. And if anybody needs any support or help in terms of you being the life liberator, then they will also know where to contact you as well. So thank you so much for sharing. And we will
Thank you, Cheryl, so much for the opportunity as well, and for the mission that you're on. Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruth. Speak to you soon. Take care.
Bye.